Been to Austin many times before, yeah.
Okay.
It's my first time at South by, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay, nice.
Yeah, I got friends out here though, so I come visit,
Cool.
whenever I can.
How's the weather working over?
Well, it just cleared up, right? So, yeah.
It's pretty hot now.
Last time I was here, it was last New Year's, and it was pouring too, so it's like,
You could be coming at that time.
yeah, whenever I get off that plane, the clouds come. Thank you.
Of course.
So,
Great. So just tell me how did Pat come to you, and what was it about the story that attracted you to the director?
so Pet was a screenplay that had been going around in Hollywood for a while. And I read it because Jeremy Slater, the writer, has the same agent as me.
Okay.
So my agent let me read it, but he said, look, this is just to sort of get a taste of what kind of stuff you like, but unfortunately this film is set up at MGM, and it's in turnaround, so you're most likely not going to be able to direct it. But it's just so you see, and I thought it was a great script. I fell in love with it. I thought it was really subversive and really fun. And so I, started talking to MGM, and it was really tricky to get it out of there, but I was able to get some financiers in Spain to put up the money to buy the script. So I was able to buy the script from MGM, and then I looked around for production companies to set up the movie. And it's a risky film, and there's a lot of subjects about it. There's a lot of aspects of it that are not very mainstream, so to speak. So I had to find the right producers, so I talked to a lot of producers, and then finally I got in touch with Revolver Picture Company, whom I had been in contact with in the past regarding a different project, and I like they have this sort of like rebel spirit where they make the films for it's like low budget but very like sort of 90s down and dirty, go do it yourself kind of attitude. And I thought it was the right way to do Pet. So, once they came on board, we were ready to go, to rock and roll, yeah.
Great. So when you were reading the script, was Dom introduced, or was this after?
This was after. Actually, there was no one attached, and I didn't know Dominic had been attached to the film. So I did a list of actors, and what's funny is that the character was originally a bit younger. The character was written for Dom. I had no idea, but it was written for Dom. But it was like back when he was fresh off Lost, but it was the first season of Lost, so it was years ago. And so it just never crossed my mind that Dominic Monaghan would be attached to this. And then finally, the writer told me, I'm like, that's crazy. Let's get him, And but now he was a bit older than the character, so we decided to reverse the ages of the characters. In the original screenplay, she was a bit older and he was younger, and now we switched it so that he's a bit older and she's younger. And as soon as I knew that Dominic was a part of it, I was like, wow, let's bring him in. And I met with him for breakfast, and he told me he'd been wanting to make Pet for a long time. And I was like, well, listen, I've been trying to make Pet for a while too, so let's join forces and do it. And that's how he came on board.
Is that why you guys stayed? So, because I read it was about 2007 that you've been trying to make the film?
No. I mean, I've only been
For a few years?
acquainted with the film for the past 2 years.
Okay.
Dominic has been trying to make it since 2007, And a lot of people knew that, I guess, but not me. I was just like, guy from Barcelona was like, this is a great script, I'm gonna buy it, and then suddenly I'm like, oh wait, Dominic Monaghan wants to do this? Okay, let's be in business. So I've only been after this for about a year and a half, 2 years, but yeah.
Okay, so how do you approach kind of a darker film? How you said it's not mainstream. You obviously want to appeal to masses, but also be true to yourself. So how do you go into directing a film?
Well, to me, the key to Pet was it's such a dark film. The key was making it very accessible to the masses. That was what I wanted to achieve. I wanted this to be a film. I didn't want this to be some obscure horror film that's like, people hear about it and it's like, oh, I can't watch it, like a Human Centipede kind of stuff. I was like, no, this has to be really mainstream because it talks about some really big ideas, right? And some really dark stuff, but I'm like, it would be really fun if to sort of sell it to the audience, not sugarcoat it, but make it accessible to people so that everyone is exposed to this darkness without really knowing it. You know what I mean? So it was a trick. It was about being subversive. It's about showing the audience such a good time that they're subconsciously taking in all these horrible, twists and concepts, but they're still enjoying it like it's a mainstream movie. So it was the trick was to play opposite and be as accessible to everyone as I could.
That's smart.
Well, it worked for this.
Yeah,
this
so
film.
what was your directing style for this one? How do you go about approaching actors? And I guess
Well-
in this kind of film it's a little bit darker, so how is it on set? How do you create?
What happened on this film was MGM was going to make it for like, I think I read 14 million or something like that, which I don't know how studio movies work because I've never done one, but it's a lot of money. But still, I mean, wow, we had like a 20th of that budget, and they were probably going to shoot it in over like 3 months. I only had 4 weeks to shoot Pet, so I'm like, this is going to have to be real fast, right? And it's not a movie for me to like be all De Palma-like and try all these crazy camera moves. I'm like, this is a movie about 2 characters telling a very well-crafted story. It's about a relationship. So my job on this movie is to bring that relationship to life. That's it. Everything has to be at the service of the relationship. And the relationship in this film is so exciting and it's so dark that if I tell that well and step back and just tell it well, that's the movie, So trying to do anything else probably would have been a mistake because I would have run out of time and I didn't have the money to do it. So it was all about the actors. So I spent, months and months dissecting the script and getting down to what this twisted, sick and twisted yet kind of beautiful relationship was about between these 2 characters. And I was like, well, I'm going to do whatever I can to bring it to light. So then I talked to Dom and Ksenia. We talked a lot about it, and try to find color in all the scenes, find all the different undertones to every scene, because the scenes in Pet are like theater scenes. You could take any scene in that movie and put it like in front of a class. They're very well crafted in that way. So it's all about that, And then the rest was about making it. I wanted to set it in LA and make it look like it's LA, like a very sort of gritty, realistic kind of approach. And but it was really all about the actors and discovering things with them and finding breakthroughs and all that. So
so I know you've done some short films as well as feature films. Do you like one more than the other, or do you find challenges in both? Does it just depend on the
People
story?
say that making a short is harder than making a movie. I don't think so. I think making a short is easier than making a movie. I love doing short films. It's funny because I've done two movies and they've both been low budget, and both of them have had a month, like 4 weeks to shoot them. But on the shorts that I've done are big budget, and it's almost like I have more means when I'm doing a short than when I'm doing a feature, right? So to me, when I'm doing a short, it's like doing or so far my experiences with shorts have been like high-end commercials where I have all the toys to play with, and I can shoot 3 pages a day, and then when I've done features, it's more like, hey, there's no way, you're out of time and out of money, but you got to figure out a way to do it. So it's a whole other game, What do I like doing better? I like them both. I think they're both different, very different art forms, and they have to be used to do different things. You can't make a short and try and make a movie out of it. That doesn't work, So you got to go into a short with a whole different mindset, and they're each fun in their own capacity.
Okay, so what other projects do you have coming up? And do you have any like Spanish language films? Any experience?
I would love to work in Spain. I actually, when I was fresh out of film school, I directed a TV movie in Spain. It was very, very small, and that was a lot of fun. But no, right now I have one script that I'm trying to develop, and we're pretty close to finishing. But it's too early to say anything, and I don't like talking about things until they're well fleshed out. But I would love to work in Spain. So if there's any Spanish producers out there watching this, I'm also I'm bicontinental. But so just one little project on the side, and then we'll see what comes of Pet.
So what are you looking forward to here besides your premiere? But anything else you want to go see?
Yeah, I really want to see Phantasm, the remastering. I want to see Midnight Special. I'm a big Jeff Nichols fan, so I think he's extremely talented, and I envy him because he writes his own movies, and they're great, and he directs beautifully. And so I want to see Midnight Special as well, and I want to see the Slender Man documentary. There's a bunch of. I really want to do the festival right. I'm working today, and then I have to introduce the movie again on Monday. But other than that, I'm going to be here just watching movies and trying to go to as many venues as I can.
Well, are you gonna stay here all week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any Austin favorite places that you go to? Maybe foodie?
Well, I don't know if it's like a tacky thing to say. I really like 6th Street. I don't know if it's but every time I come here, my Austin friends just take me there. I like West 6th Street for food, and then East 6th Street, later in the night. I love live music, of course. So let's see. Let me think. I probably can't name any of the places I've been to, but I've been to I did go to Salt Lake Creek. Salt Lake, right? Yeah, Salt Lake Creek. Yeah, or just Salt Lake.
Salt Lake.
That's right. Yeah, I went there.
Yeah.
I went there, and just really good Mexican places as well. So.
Yeah, great.
All right. Thank you, guys.